Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the Carnival featured LR Full Power Jiren. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So of course, I always start off with the card arts, and another rare occasion that the TUR card art for me looks better than the SSR card art. Really, the SSR card arts for LRs generally are just very impressive, looks amazing, and normally SSR card arts don't do any kind of action, and in this case Jiren is firing a Ki Blast here and it just looks funny, right, for an SSR. So I do like the TUR a lot better. And when you move on to the LR card arts, in a sense the Jiren has three card arts. When at LR you have the base form here, you have the standby, and then you have the full power. But really, I think the standalone here, the base form, is okay. The animated version is pretty good. The standby looks incredible. We'll look at that in a second. And then the full power is okay. So anyway, so that's the card arts and what I think about them. And let's look at the stats here. So first and foremost, the HP attack and defense is just a strong overall, right? It has strong HP, 22,563. You have over 20,000 in attack, and then you have 14,500 in defense. So just there's no weak point. There's no in terms of stats, that is, it's just a solid amount of HP attack and defense there. And when you look at the unit overall, this is a very interesting and special first time, right? We have a Carnival featured unit that has a dual 200% category lead. I hope we see more of these in the future. However, this might be just kind of a one-off where Universe 11 is such a small category, it really doesn't matter. So technically, most or all Universe 11 category units are already on Universal Survival Saga. I think maybe just a couple are not. So anyway, that's the leader skill here. Universal Survival Saga is now becoming one of the top teams in the game. No doubt. So you have a 12 key and an 18 key super attack here. The 12 key raises attack and defense for one turn, causes colossal damage to enemy, so nothing too special there. And then the 18 key greatly raises attack and defense for one turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy, and a high chance of stunning the enemy. Now, when we look at the passive skill, this is where it gets really interesting here. It's very strong. Jiren just says, let's out of the gate, I'm just going to be really dominant, really strong, and that's what he basically is. So you have a key plus 8. That's a lot of key on top of if you're running this as a leader, because you're going to get a plus 4 to key for Universal 11 versus plus 3 for Universal Survival Saga. So you get that extra key on here, and you get plus 8. That's pretty strong. So, and then attack and defense 350%, which is very high right off the bat. And on top of that, you do have an opportunity to disable an action of the enemy hit by the character's attack once the turn that you basically show up in entry turn. So you have this one opportunity to basically disable an enemy's action once you hit them, which is again very strong. So you might end up removing or disabling a super attack, which that's always what we hope for in those situations. On top of that, hey, 350% to attack and defense isn't enough. Let's go ahead and just add 50% damage reduction, no restriction, it's just where it's at there, plus an additional 50% to attack and defense when attacking, and then plus an additional attack 100%, and great chance of performing a critical hit and an additional damage of 11% as the second or third attacker of the turn. So they basically try to build it so that you're going to be a much stronger unit if you're going to be running it at second position in main rotation or floater. So when I do the team builds, you're going to see him in usually that spot, not in first position. However, when he, of course, goes full power, you can probably put him in first position, no problem. So now you do have the standby skill, right? The standby skill here, standby is for 5 turns or up to 5 turns. And then during which you're going to have a charge count, 1 per key sphere, by the allies, just like your other standby skills with the key boost up here. And then can be activated starting from the 3rd turn of the character's rotation. Now, here's the thing. I probably would recommend you standby as soon as possible and then go into full power as soon as possible. There's no really added benefit for you to stay in base form. So once you're able to standby at the 3rd turn, you go ahead and standby, and then you start building up and you get to full power as soon as possible. So link skills: Supreme Warrior, Shocking Speed, Infire, Godly Power, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. You should link up very well with the other units in Universal Survival Saga. And then categories, in some pretty decent categories here: Universal Survival Saga, Realm of Gods, Full Power, Transformation Boost, Universe 11, Space Traveling Warriors gets a boost here, Powerful Comeback, Defenders of Justice, Battle of Fate, Tournament Participants, and then Super Bosses, very important there as well. And again, there's really no restriction that he has when in terms of his passive, so you can just go ahead and slot him into really any of these categories here. Now when you go standby, I'm not a huge fan of these types of standbys, which is you're not able to attack. Oh, by the way, let's look at the animated version of the card art, and it's incredible. It's probably one of the best. So I'll kind of let this play out as I start talking about this. Yeah, it's they did a great job, and unfortunately you don't get to see this, you know, on a consistent basis, but yeah, that's hot, right? So that's fire. So unfortunately you're not able to attack, so this is the down portion of when you go standby. However, you're not gonna die. You know, your defense is 350%. All allies get a 3 to key. Reduces damage by 50% like it was before, but on top of that, additional damage reduction 11% per key sphere obtained, and it seems like there's no restriction on that, so you can pretty much get 100% damage reduction if you get 5 or more key spheres, right? So so yeah, really crazy strong there, defensively, that is. And then it's just, add on, you don't need more defense if you have all this damage reduction. Defense plus 100% when receiving attack. And then you have the opportunity to change key spheres, which is, powerful enough for you to get more key spheres here for the damage reduction. And, but basically any that's not AGL key spheres, you're going to get the orb change there. And then all allies, 70% self-excluded, when the attacker is in the 2nd or 3rd position, to obtain key spheres in a turn. So generally you're going to run this on main rotation 2nd position, and yeah, you're going to boost up a 70% attack boost for your allies. Very strong. So basically how you finish everything here, so you have a plus three to attack and 3 turns, and then unfortunately if you get under 24 charge count in 5 turns, you just basically go back into normal Jiren, right? But then you get key plus 3 and attack 30%. However, if you get above 25, right, you're able to awaken into full power Jiren. So you just got to make sure you get 25 or more. And again, this is going to be pretty easy because you're going to orb change. So in this case, you might not want to maybe use all the orb change, key spheres. You might want your allies to go pick them up so that you can get to 25 as soon as possible. Once you get to 25, you activate, and then you become full power Jiren, which is an absolute beast. Now, the link skills, the only thing that does change is Cold Judgment for Shocking Speed, but that does come back when you transform into full power Jiren. So once you get your 25, you activate, boom, you got full power Jiren here. The card art for the full power Jiren, I'm not a huge fan of on the LR here at the full power level. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So everything is just better at full power Jiren. So again, that's why I want everybody to get here as soon as possible. So greatly raises attack and then raises defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy, and then massively raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn, and causes mega colossal damage and guaranteed stun. Key plus 11, so 8 wasn't enough, so let's go key plus 11, and then attack and defense 400% versus 350. Then you have reduces damage by 60%. Then you have the opportunity to foresee enemies super attack and then get an additional 11% damage reduction, so 71% damage reduction for 1 turn once you enter. So this is when you can put the unit in 1st position if you need to. because he's not taking much damage. And then plus an additional 111% attack and defense when attacking. Great chance to perform a critical hit, and then plus an additional chance to perform a critical hit 11% with each super attack performed. So that's just going to get higher and higher and higher. And then plus an additional 50% that's to attack, and attacks are guaranteed to hit and performs critical hit when key is 24. So once your key is 24, it doesn't really matter for the chances of critical hit here. It's going to be 100%. And then plus an additional 50% when receiving a super attack. And I think that is also unrestricted. So every time you receive a super attack, you just get stronger offensively. So yeah, once you get here, you're a very, very, very strong unit. But again, you're generally going to run this in second or third position since you've been running it on there. But you do have the opportunity to run first position if you like after the full transformation. And link skills go back to what it was when you're on base form. So that is the unit in of itself. Let's go ahead and dive into the team build. But of course, we are talking about link partners, and he actually has quite a bit of good link partners for Jiren here, but of course full power Jiren that is going to EZA will also be his best link partner. Now the thing here is on the team builds, I am assuming the EZA to full power Jiren is going to be good enough to be a first position unit. All right, so that is the caveat here when I'm building this, is that I believe that they're going to build the full power Jiren as a first position tanking type of unit. Now if it doesn't, right, you can easily slot somebody else in that first position when you're using Universal Survival Saga. So you can use MUI Goku, you can use UI Goku, right? So there's a lot of units that you can run in first position there. Again, you want to run Jiren in second or third position. So a team like this, which is your main positions are going to be more Universal 11, and you have the support in the Topo Universal 11. So when you have 3 or more Universal 11 units, which you will have here, that unit actually becomes very viable. So without that, you shouldn't use them on any team. So Universal 11 only for that int Topo there. So, but again, let's say the Jiren isn't as strong or is not in first position. Again, you can just easily slot in the Dokkan Festival exclusive Tech UI Goku there, and you're just fine. Now, I did put support and change support to 17 and 18. Again, you don't have to run a support. You can run other units on here. You can run other supports as well, but that's what I ended up using for that spot there. And then anytime you're able to run UI Goku or MUI Goku as a floater, right, that means that your team is just really good, because if you're running other units in main rotation, it's pretty amazing. So in this case here, it's just running MUI Goku and UI Goku, which links up fairly well with Jiren. That's going to be no problem there, and you're going to run those in first position there. So again, just super strong. Now you have Evolution Vegeta as a floater unit, right? Now, again, if you're going to be running this unit as a floater versus main rotation, this is the team that you might want to run with the UI Goku rotation, which is a ridiculous rotation there, along with Evolution Vegeta and then Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Evolution Vegeta EZA there. So, again, I have the tournament participants 17 and 18 support there, and he will support very well and will also get his unit super attack up because you have the Goku on the main rotations as well. So if you don't want to run a support unit, you don't have to, right? And this is one of those teams where I don't know if you need any kind of support unit. Now, Physical Topo, God Topo will support Special Pose and Defenders of Justice, which Jiren is on the Defenders of Justice. I don't believe he's on Special Pose, but he's on Defenders of Justice, so he will get supported there. So just know that that is very, very, very strong of a team that you can run with God Topo, and he's going to be semi-support, but he's not going to be in a support position. He's going to be on main rotation. So now another version that you can run would be, you know, that same rotation I was talking about with the Universal 11, and if the Tech Jiren is going to be a first position unit, you don't have to run the support. You can, instead of running the support Universal 11 Topo there, you can just run Evolution Vegeta, which this is like, you can kind of maybe just run this as auto mode, really, right? If Tech Jiren is going to be very strong defensively. It's just going to be super, super strong. And then if you want to run a little bit more of Universal Survivor Saga Representative Universe 7, you have the Frieza and 17 there as well as an option, but you can run just so many other units as well on the bench strength. So very, very strong overall Universal Survivor Saga. I think it's up there in the top or the best teams in the game right now. Kind of a return to Universal Survivor Saga, which it was the best teams for quite some time back in the day. So return of Universal Survivor Saga. And then if you don't want to run Jiren as the main leader, of course you could run the Tech UI Goku as main leader. You can run Jiren then as a floater. Now if you look at this team is wild. Look how good this team is. It's wild how strong Universal Survivor Saga is. And then if you want to run him on main rotation, this is what probably might it look like. You will have to change out the gammas because they aren't technically, he's not superhero, right? So he is super bosses. And speaking of super bosses, then you can run a super bosses team on here. Now again, I don't know how strong the Tech Jiren's going to be, so I kind of just put him on a floater position, but I was like, you gotta kind of just keep Cell Max there, right? And Cell Max doesn't really link too well. Has I believe 3 links with the Jiren, but maybe I was like, you're gonna run Cell Max as a floater, or you're gonna run him in this position here and take off the Broly, and then with the domain issues, like, do you want to run this Broly here? So if they fix the domain issue, the Super Boss is going to be one of, and they are able to stack domain. It's going to be one of the best teams, if not the best teams in the game, if you're able to stack domains, right? So hopefully if they fix that, but yeah, you have Cell Max, you have Broly, you have this Tech EZA, you have this this Jiren. It's just a really, really, really nice boost, and of course you can run the Broly team as well. With the Jiren, so I just used the Rose just cause. So anyway, hopefully this was beneficial for you all here, and you guys enjoyed looking through all the different type of team builds. Of course, it's just a very small portion of what he can probably be on other teams as well. But again, hopefully you guys benefited from watching this video here. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.